my gosh, how could you be on the fence about going to Paris with Malvina? This is going to change your life. It's going to be just, you're going to leave there like on cloud nine, full of so much motivation and energy, and ready to just go back and tackle the world and make it yours. I went with Malvina to Paris in the fall of 2021. And it was not my first trip to Paris. I had been to Paris in 1998 with my ex-husband. So I decided to take this trip to Paris as a reclamation trip so I could kind of reclaim my memory of the city and have a completely different experience than I did before. So Malvina, she just, when you are around her, it's electric. So she vibrates at like a high vibrational energy, and you can't help but feel excited and empowered and strong when you're around her. So being in Paris with her, she's going to feed that positive energy towards you, and you're going to walk out of there with the best experience for yourself. So the theme of this trip was, number one, just to, it was a girls trip. So it was really about women power and, you know, being out there with a bunch of other strong women and experiencing everything the city had to offer. So the first time I was just doing the museums and stuff, but this time it was about getting out in the streets, being around the people of Paris, the smells, the sights, the sounds, the food, the shopping. So those were the things I was really interested in taking in this time. If you've been to Paris before, you still want to go on this trip with Malvina. So the first time I went, like I said, we were on a bucket list to do all the touristy things, and we kind of missed out on what it was to experience the pure essence of what Paris has to offer. So I didn't have time the first time to sit in a cafe and just people watch and take in the sights and sounds. One of my most vivid memories was we sat on Île de la Cité at sunset while people were coming and going, and we did like a wine tasting, and we just sat there and enjoyed the wine, the people at the table next to us, and the people coming and going from the different parts of Paris, and it was just magical. I didn't take the time to do that when I was a tourist. Being there with Malvina was pretty special because she's been there many more times than I have, and as a European, she just kind of has a knack for navigating her way through a European city. And she had been there many times and had planned locations and special places to stop. So we would be on a journey from one part of the city to the next, but en route, she would already know certain place that she wanted to drop in and show us. So while we were in Paris, Malvina took us to the Le Marais district, which is really famous for its fashion. And just walking through there is like, ooh la la, because there's just shops everywhere with handbags and beautiful dresses. And I think I just took it all in. We went back a couple of different times, and I spotted a handbag that I fell in love with that I went back to get the last day. But it really, I think I drew mostly from it with some inspiration. So when I came home, it's kind of like led me down a path of where I'm going with my fashion. So I think that another part of going to Paris with Malvina is really about the empowerment of being with other strong women. And the sisterhood allows you to kind of take on things that you would never think you'd be able to do. They become your partners in believing that you can be your best self. Of course, Malvina is a mindset coach, and she can teach you to be intentional in your practice of channeling a positive mindset. But in your experience with her in Paris, you won't just be in a classroom. You're going to be going around doing activities and experiencing Paris for all it has to offer. And she'll be coaching and guiding you in the moment to channel your strongest energy and to stay true to yourself and to move forward. So when we traveled in the fall with Malvina, we weren't able to go to the Museum du Parfum to have a guided tour and explore the essences, but I heard you guys are going to get to go. So that is so wonderful. But in the meantime, Malvina knew of other perfumeries around Paris that she took us to so that we could go and explore the different scents and in the perfumes and find one that matched our soul essence. So I have done photo shoots like for my wedding or for professional photos, headshots and things. So the idea of doing a photo shoot in Paris, at first I thought, why am I gonna do that? Well, I'm in Paris, but it was the most interesting and really fun. I mean, we got to put on pretty outfits and be in beautiful sceneries, but different settings. And the lady took us to special places and captured some really unique moments. So before we went to Paris, Malvina helped me prepare what kind of clothing and things I would need so I could prepare and pack for the trip. I've been to Europe many times, and like I said, I'd been to Paris before, but I really didn't pack with any kind of fashion sense in mind and be able to kind of blend in and experience it like a Parisian. So I probably was embarrassing the first time I went, but Malvina spent time talking with me about like essentials and how I could use different pieces of clothing and articles to expand my wardrobe and have flexibility in it, along with what the weather would be like at that time of year in Paris, and considering comfortable walking shoes. And yeah, it was so valuable.